Can you hear us, Swamiji?
I don't know whether we will be able to do this session because there is so much problems in the network.
Is it audible, Swamiji? Are we audible to you?
Yeah. How is the sound now? Is it audible?
Very good.
Yeah. Then we can start now. Even now it is late, no?
Yes.
Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. Oh. In this session, we are discussing subjects connected with the Sodasa Samskaaras. Before entering into that topic, we have seen what are the Vaidika karmas, that is the divisions of Vaidika karmas, like Nitya, Naimittika, Kamya and Prayashchita. And within that we have discussed in detail Pancha Mahayajnas. And after that, in our last session, we started Sodasa Samskaaras. And we have discussed the first samskara, that is Garbhadhana. Then comes the second samskara, which is called Pumsavana Samskara, or simply Pumsavanam. See, when a woman gets conceived, we have to wait for at least 2 months for fixing that she is pregnant. Of course, we can know in the initial period itself, that is in the first or second week itself. One will know, or one can understand, of course with the help of medical experts, whether she is pregnant or not. But even then, our acharyas are of the opinion that we have to wait for 2 months. And it is on the second month of pregnancy, this Pumsavana Samskara is to be performed. As in all other samskaras, Pati and Patni must sit together in Samasana. And the Upadhyaya or the Acharya will do the rituals. And there are so many mantras. I do not know all these mantras. But within those mantras which are used in this Pumsavana Samskara, there are some mantras which will give that much psychological support to the pregnant woman. That is the Patni. See, actually, Patni is carrying. She is carrying. And ordinarily, in the initial months, that is the first, second, third, fourth months, she will be facing so many problems, like psychological, then vomiting and like that. So in that period, she must get absolute support or fullest backing from the society, from those who are in the house, and especially from the Pati. It is essential. And therefore, in these Pumsavana mantras, as far as I know, there are some mantras wherein the Pati will utter, we are carrying, not that you are carrying, we are carrying. And let our child who is being carried within by us, let him be great, with much intellectual capacity, having all virtues. That prayer is there. See, what much psychological support these mantras are giving to the pregnant woman. Just imagine that. You are not alone. You are not suffering alone. We are carrying together. I am with you. I am carrying the burden along with you. And we are here for nurturing the child. And with our prayers, the child will come with all greatness, with medha, that is the ability to remember and to cognize. So with all virtues, the child will grow with it. So this mantra, it's a sort of sharing, and it will develop a feeling of sharing within them. And this is very essential for the well-being of the family. Not only for that, but for the health of the pregnant woman also. Health here means not the physiological alone, but psychological. The mental state of a pregnant woman must be calm. That calmness must be there always. It's essential for the proper growth of the child within. I'm not using the word embryo. We have to use the word child. Because childbirth happens not at the time of childbirth, but at the time of Garbhadhana itself. Not when the organs manifest one by one, or not when the organs develop fully. Even before that, when the actual insemination happens, then itself child is there. But all the organs, all the capacities, everything is in the subtle form. There is no doubt in that, but still it is the child. So here, in this Pumsavana Samskara, it is giving a positive outlook. It is developing much required attitude within both Pati and Patni. And above all, it is giving the proper psychological support to the pregnant woman. But here also, as far as I know, I'm repeating this as far as I know because I am not an expert in this topic. We have to invite experts in Karmakanda, and when they take this, it will be more authoritative. It will be more apt. Because we are not experts in this topic. So let me repeat, as far as I know, there is a prayer within the mantras. Let this child be a son. And I had heard from Acharyas that this prayer is special in the case of first pregnancy. So in the first pregnancy, both Pati and Patni are praying for a son. In the present day world, when we hear this, many may pounce upon, saying this is anti-feminine view. This is fully masculinist view. Such charges may come. Let it happen. We are not for or we are not against. We are placing a fact, and that is, in the first pregnancy, there is a prayer, let the child be a son. And I don't know whether in the second or third pregnancies, the same mantra that is praying for a son is being repeated or not. I don't know that. We have to ask this aspect to experts in that field. But however, in the first pregnancy, there is such a prayer. There is no doubt in that. So we are not going into details. And as a part of this Pumsavana, along with the psychological aspects, there are some biological things too, that is some medicines for the proper growth of the child will be started. And that medicine will be made by the Acharya himself or Vaidya, and that will be used in the ritual which is performed in connection with the Pumsavana Samskaaras. And that medicine will be taken by the Patni after the ritual ceremony. It is said this medicine is a best medhyam. Medhyam is that will help develop to the growth of our intellectual capacity, neurosystem, especially the growth of the brain within. So such a medicine will be given after the Pumsavana Samskara. And after this Pumsavana Samskara, it is the duty of all those who are in the house where that pregnant woman is staying to keep the atmosphere in the home calm and serene. A house where a pregnant woman is staying must be like a Devalaya or a Vidyalaya. This is essential. And the pregnant woman must keep her own mind calm, serene. And for that, she must chant namas daily. She must chant mantras daily. Especially mantras, mala mantra, sahasra nama. She must chant daily. Definitely, there is no doubt in that. Definitely, it will help to develop the Medha Shakti in the child. There is no doubt in that. So, this is the Pumsavana Samskara. And after Pumsavana Samskara comes the third Samskara, which is called Simanta or Simantonayana. Simanta or Simantonayana Samskara. There are differences of opinion among different acharyas regarding when and how this samskara is to be done. Some acharyas are of the opinion that it should be done in the 4th month, and some says in the 6th month. And some acharyas are of the opinion that we have to perform this in the 4th month and have to repeat again. So there are differences of opinion. However, we can take, we have to do it in the 4th month. Because more consensus is in that opinion. There are also the Upadhyaya or the karmi have to be invited. And in the house where the pregnant woman is staying, there they have to perform a ritual. And as in the Pumsavana Samskara, Pati and Patni must sit on Samasana, that on a similar asana, and they have to perform that ritual. And the mantras like those which were chanted in the Pumsavana Samskara will be repeated. And as a part of that, the Pati, with both the hands, must touch the belly of the Patni and utter such mantras as we are carrying. We are responsible for this. And let all devatas shower their boons on the child, and let him be great in all respects, with high intellectual capacity, and all greatness be on him. Such mantras are there. See that prayer. And the attitude behind the karmas. Just imagine that, just think of it. Because in the early days of pregnancy, the troubles which the pregnant woman is facing are entirely different from the troubles and problems she is having in the later periods. Now she is walking with the weight and so many troubles she is constantly facing or having. So many sicknesses are there. They must be with her. She have to face with the equanimity within. Never cursing the child within. Sometimes she may be having some pains or some other problems. All psychological, physiological, all sorts of problems she have to face with equanimity and calmness within. And for that, she must get full support from the Pati and also from those who are in the house where she is staying. So it is offered here. And holding the child, or as if holding the child, the Pati is touching and holding the Patni, and he is uttering in loud voice, we are carrying this, we are growing this, we are suffering jointly. See, definitely this will give that much psychological solace or backing to that pregnant woman. So this is a most important thing we have to obey and observe. This attitude we have to build. Always she must be assured, I am with you, I am with you, I am with you. You are not alone, you are not alone. So these are the three samskaras before the actual childbirth. That is Garbhadhana, then Pumsavana, and then Simanta or Simantonnayana. Next comes the fourth samskara, Jata Karma, that we will discuss in our next sitting. So anybody to ask any questions, you can ask. Whatever be that. If I know, I will reply. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Kamala ji, you can
Namaste.
go. Yeah.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
And whatever Swamiji has told us, very, very important in our lives, especially gynecologist.
Yeah.
And I feel each and every gynecologist should know about all these things. And what, because it is very important, what I usually tell them, to do pregnancy, I teach them pregnancy meditation, I take the class, like, making them sit together at least for 15 minutes. Then, visualizing the growth of the baby and telling outwardly also
Yeah.
with the words
Yeah.
outside, let me impart all the virtues to the baby. And we are all there to help you, because that is very, very important.
Yeah.
And what I have
Yeah.
observed, actually, those couple, they behave really very well throughout the pregnancy. Even after delivery, they enjoy everything. They consider the pregnancy, they have to take the pregnancy as the prasada from the God.
Yeah.
So then the mother will never feel the burden of it. Otherwise, what I have seen the others, those who doesn't believe in all these things, they are all the time worried and going on, confused and, very, very stressed. And especially the first 4 months, very, very important.
Yeah.
And they will be given some ghee also, jebicha neyya, they say, usually.
Ah.
Then they used to ask, why is it so important? Because I usually tell them, because I just want to know whether it is correct. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Because
it is correct.
Yeah, the ghee is always, it is very good for the brain development.
Yeah.
As that, any food is actually divided into 3. One will go for the sthula shariram, one will go for the sushma shariram development, one go as a waste.
Yeah.
The ghee will go for the sushma shariram mainly.
Uh,
To worry about the sthula shariram, putting on weight and all, people unnecessarily give that as an excuse not to take it. So I just want to tell
share all
Swamiji.
these things. Yeah. It's great. We have to pay our attention to these things. If we are considering our pregnancy as a burden, there is no doubt the child will be a burden to us in our later days. If we are caring and carrying, he or she will care us and carry us. There is no doubt in that. So the attitude is the main thing. And the attitude will not develop by itself. To develop that attitude, some rituals are essential. Some physical works or doings or deeds are essential. That is meant by these rituals. So all these things are having many impacts, psychological, physiological, and all impacts are there that we have to consider. And let us deviate a little from the topic, that is Sodasa Samskaaras. See, it is a must for all pregnant women to chant some mantras. Chanting mantras will develop within them a high positive state. All the energy levels will become balanced. And in keeping the mind calm, and of course with high values, this mantra chanting will help us. There is no doubt in that. And along with that, taking medhya medicines, that is essential. In the Pumsavana and in the Simantonayana, these medicines are given to the Patni. I don't know the fullest composition of those medicines. You can ask those experts, but these medicines are made in pure ghee, cow's ghee, not buffalo ghee, cow's ghee. And the main ingredient is these buds of vata. Buds of vata. Vata is a people tree. So leaf buds of people tree, it is the main ingredient. There are so many other ingredients, and all these are medhyams. And this ghee is made continuously chanting some mantras. So that thoughts or the inner conviction of those who are making that, and the power and effect of those medicines. And see, ghee is a subtle form of Agni. It's a subtle form of Agni, fire. So it will help in developing buddhi and vak. Buddhi and vak. So these are given to us by our acharyas. We must pay attention to all these teachings in our life. So all these things we must listen to and observe in our life. These are most important. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. The next question is from Eldos. You can unmute and ask the question.
Swamiji, namaste, pranam.
Namaste.
Swamiji, namaste. I am on the mobile phone. Swamiji, a slight off-topic question. Swamiji, is it purely the mental attitude which determines the sex of the child during the copulation? Definitely, there will be some relation between the mental attitude of the couples during copulation. So, if I have a strong intention to have a boy baby or girl baby, whether the sex is determined by the mental attitude. A slightly off-topic question, because just I'm asking out of my curiosity. Definitely some science will be there.
There is nothing wrong in asking this. It is good. It's a good question. See, the mental state of Pati and Patni before and during the actual copulation. It is most important. But we cannot say it is the sole factor determining the sex of the child. We cannot say that. Because there are so many other aspects. And these aspects are both in the gross level and in the subtle level. By the subtle level, we are not meaning the microscopic level. Even the microscopic level are grosser. For example, if we are discussing about the chromosome structure or the nucleic acid factors like that, even those factors are gross because they can be analyzed physically. Even those factors are gross. But there are subtle elements also. See, we are inviting a guest, and the invitation was proper, or it was conveyed in a proper manner. And after that, we kept the home clean, and we washed all the waste to the home. We made all arrangements in the visitors' room, and we made all arrangements for making food, keeping water, everything. There is no lapse at all on our part. But all these are making or creating circumstances conducive for the arrival of that guest. There are many other factors, whether he or she will come or not, and who will come. So that depends on the samskara of the jiva who has to come. What sort of samskaras are there within, in the chitta of that jiva? According to that samskara, that jiva will select. Let me repeat this once more. That jiva will select the physical body. So it is a matter of selection from the part of that jiva, not the pati and patni, not the father and mother. What the father and mother can do, here father and mother are the future father mother, or be father mother, but still we can use that word. They can invite, they can keep the home clean. All these things they can do. But what sort of jiva will come, that is not fully decided by them. So the physical or the psychological aspects which we are discussing as a part of these samskaras, with those aspects, we cannot say for certain that such and such a child will come. No. So, coming back to your question, the mental state or thoughts of the pati and the patni during actual relation or that copulation it is not the sole factor that is determining the sex of the child. There are so many other gross and subtle factors. Even within the gross factors, there are many. So this is one among them. So this is the fact. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. In continuation of what you just told, and we have read in or we understood, like so many jivas would be competing to enter to the womb or to the embryo, and when the appropriate womb or appropriate garbham is available for the so many jivans, and they are competing to get into that according to, so that whole process is triggers up a lot of question. What determines how it is getting done, when it is going done, and why it is happening that way? There are so many questions happening which is not known to us, probably in a scientific way or not, the way we speak today. So how the Shastras are defining that process, why, what, how, where, all these aspects of that jivas getting to the womb.
That, frankly speaking, we cannot explain all these things. We can propose something, some propositions we can make, or some assumptions we can make. But we cannot say for certain, this is that. No. But here the cause and effect theory, which nobody can negate, is the base of all these explanations. So for a jiva, what types of samskaras are there within, accordingly, that jiva will enter into the womb of the future mother. What type of samskaras are there? Such a body, it will take. How this happens, we do not know. We cannot explain. See, this is a very, very subtle matter. Even in our physical world, we cannot explain many happenings. See, many are working together to reach at a place. But some are reaching, some are not reaching. Sometimes intellectually talented people, physically fit people may not get that position, and they will be discarded. And people having not that much capacity may reach. Why it happens, we cannot explain. We are seeing that. And in our practical life, many events are coming on a daily basis, which we cannot explain with logic. How it is so? See, we are getting ready for a travel. We have booked ticket for that journey, say by train or by flight or by bus, whatever it is. Somehow, we cannot explain. We are not going. Something happens and we are deciding not to go. And after 1.5 hours or 1.5 hours, we are ready to go, and we will go by another sort of conveyance. Then at that time we are hearing that vehicle, it met an accident, or there was a mishap, and so many persons were wounded and so many deaths occurred. These like events are happening in our life. Why and how? We cannot explain why it happened. See, once, it was some years back, one man, he went to Mumbai and he was in the Mumbai Stock Exchange. For some official purpose, he went there and he was working there. But immediately, a feeling came within him, I must get out of this office now. Why? He did not know. And he started running down. Without using the lift, escalator facility, he ran down the staircase. And when he reached down, what he saw? The floor where he was, there was a blast and there was a fire. Many deaths occurred. You may be remembering that Bombay Stock Exchange blast. So why such a thought came to him? We cannot say, we cannot explain. We cannot say it was the boon from a God. No, I won't accept that. Because if it is a help from the Ishvara, I will not worship that Ishvara. Because that Ishvara is a partial fellow. He is helping somebody and he is not helping somebody. So he is having Ragadvesha. If the Ishvara is having Ragadvesha, I cannot accept him as Ishvara. Then what is responsible? If Ishvara is not responsible, then who is responsible? The karma, the prarabdha, which is there within, it is leading that jiva. How we cannot say? See, all of us know about Ramayana and Sri Rama, with the permission of Guru Vishwamitra, he took the Shaiva Chapa and as if in a play, that was broken. And as a result of that, Sri Rama became eligible for marriage. He won that test. And Sita can marry him. Sita can. It is not compulsory because the deciding right is with the Sita. So, however it happened. So, how many marriages should be happened? Only one marriage. That is between Sita and Sri Rama. Sita Rama Vivaham. But actually, how many happened? 4. Between Bharata and Mandavi, Lakshmana and Urmila, Shatrughna and Shrudagirti. Why it happened? We cannot say. We cannot explain. So those jivas who have to have similar experiences will somehow come together to have that experience. How it is happening, we cannot explain. But somehow they will come together and will have that experience together. So all these aspects we cannot explain. These are beyond our logical speculations. So how a particular jiva is enduring, that we cannot say. There are many millions of jivas in one emission of semen. Or consider the quality of the semen. There may be thousands. You leave millions. Thousands there will be. All these are jivas. Within the semen, there are thousands of jivas. And one jiva is becoming or getting or entering or accepting, I don't know what is the apt word, body of a human being. Others are dying. Others are dying. It is death. It is death of a jiva. Because that prarabdha of that jiva is just for experiencing that time span. Just to enter into the body of that woman. It is not patni of that woman. Or prarabdha just to enter the vagina. That is that prarabdha of that jiva. Then it dies. So about the ayu, we cannot say. We cannot say. And all these are, frankly speaking, some propositions, not theories. But nobody can negate the theory or the principle of cause and effect. So based on that principle, all these are happening. Yes. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question. Babuji, you can unmute yourself.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
Swamiji, my question is regarding a quote that I read from Ramana Maharshi. Unfortunately, I will have to read it in English. I don't have the Sanskrit version. It reads as follows. In reincarnation, the ego remains the same. New bodies appear and hold it. The ego does not change. It does not leave one body, seek and find another. Do you go to the dream world or does it occur in you? Surely the latter. Now, what is confusing me is the section saying that the ego does not leave one body, seek and find another. Now, my understanding was, now we are talking about the jiva. When the jiva, which is the sthula sariram and the karna sariram, leave, they leave the body to find another physical body. So why is he saying that the ego does not leave one body, seek and find another? I thought the ego is part of the Karna Sariram and the Sthula
Yeah,
Sariram.
yeah. It's a good question. See, we have to see in which context Ramana Maharshi wrote so. Because if we are taking that sentence as a separate sentence, there is much contradiction from the Shastra. So, the context in which Ramana Maharshi told so, it is to be analyzed. Actually, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta and Ahankara. This Ahankara is commonly translated as ego. All these are parts of our subtle body. And when the transmigration of a jiva happens, then this subtle body accepts or takes another gross body. So within that, of course, there is ego. So it is taking or accepting another gross body. That is explained in all our Shastras. There is no doubt in that. So in which sense Ramana Maharshi told so, it is to be questioned. We have to look into that. I'm not remembering that, where it is, I don't know. But however, it may be like this. It may be, I don't know. I'm just a postulation, putting for the postulation. It may be so that ego is that much strong and identification with the body is that much powerful that it is not leaving the body. It won't leave the body. Just to show the power of that ego, or just to show the power of that identification with the body, it may be for that, I don't know. I don't know. Because if we are looking into Shastras, there is no doubt in this aspect that Jiva is accepting or enduring a Sthula Sharira with all its limbs. That is Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Pranas, Manas and Buddhi. These 17 constitute the subtle body, and with the subtle body, Jiva is enduring the gross body. So that is well explained in our Shastras. So how this contradiction comes, I don't know. And before saying it is a contradiction, we have to see what was the context where Ramana Maharshi opined that, and to whom it was said, when it was said, All these aspects have to be considered. I'm not remembering that. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Next question is from Sunilji. Sunilji.
Namaskaram, Swamiji,
Namaste,
and thank you very
namaste,
much,
namaste.
Madhuji and Rajivji. Thank you. Swamiji, my question is, in our Mahabharata Yuddham, we are talking about the fight of Dharmam and Adharmam. And we also see Panchapandavas have to do Adharmams too, right? Killing Karnan and killing Bhishma. So many killings that Panchapandavas are doing are through an adharmic way. So I'm first confused when I keep on reading more about such incidents, and some of them came as a YouTube too. Maybe it's a propaganda, but I just want to get a clarity. When we talk about yada yada hi dharmasya snadir bhavati bharata yuddhanuma dharmasya, so how come Panchapandavas and Krishna's team are supposed to do a lot of adharmic things while we are preaching dharma? Thank you very much.
Yeah. This is subject we have to learn well. See, take the case of Sri Rama. Sri Rama was or is the personification of dharma. Rama is dharma personified. So when the battle between Sri Rama and Ravana was going on, then we can see one incident. Actually, that battle was to kill the enemy, the opponent. Sri Rama was fighting with Ravana just to kill him. There was no other aim. It was the aim. But even then, once Sri Rama saw Ravana is much tired. He's much tired. Then Sri Rama stopped and asked Ravana to go and have some rest. Have proper rest and recoup your energy and come back, we will fight again. That was the way of Sri Rama, who is the personification of dharma. And there was a fight between Rama and Ravana, that is one-to-one fighting. Rama was there to teach a lesson to one man for his adharmic activities. And now take the case of Sri Krishna. We are not accepting Sri Krishna as a personification of dharma. We will take him as the manifestation or the personification of Chaturvidha Purushartha. That is, he was Kama personified, he was Dharma personified, he was Artha personified, and Moksha personified. That is why we are saying Sri Krishna as a Purna Purushottama. Purna Purushottama. And the ways which were adopted by him or the means accepted by him to eradicate adharma, they are much inscrutable. So from a physical plane, we cannot explain much of the activities of Sri Krishna. They are beyond our limit. They are above our limit. And see, when we are considering Yuddha Dharma, that is, those practices which have to be adopted in a battle, or practices which have to be accepted in a battle, and the do's and don'ts of battle. With that rod, we cannot measure the activities of Sri Krishna. For example, as you have cited, there were many instances where we cannot say it is dharma according to the accepted norms of dharma or accepted norms of Yuddha Dharma. How they killed Karna, how they killed Duryodhana, how they killed Dronacharya. All these and many more are there where so many methods or means were accepted or adopted to eradicate adharma. And these ways or means we cannot say are dharmic in all respects. Bhagavan knew that. With proper knowledge, Bhagavan did that. And actually, Bhagavan was behind all these plannings. Because Bhagavan only asked Yudhishthira to speak a lie. Ashwathama hata. Bhagavan only asked. Why? See, in the case of Ravana, he was a man, he was one man, and Rama was one man. And dharma and adharma were fighting face to face. It was not the case with the Mahabharata epic. What we are seeing in the Mahabharata is under the umbrella of power, under the umbrella of wealth and money, government and power, all adharmic forces were coming together and uniting. And all sorts of deceits were played. And the government, power, money and wealth, that was with that. All the deceits, all the foul plays. And with the power of that government or the ruler's power, all sorts of atrocities were done. Dharma was negated. And because of power, wealth, and this government's position, all these flows were covered. And even scholars were with them. Because of the indebtedness they were having. Great men like Bhishma and Drona were with them. Only considering the money, only considering the indebtedness they are having. And so, these fellows, they do not have any right to speak about dharma. Because they were living together under the umbrella of adharma. And when there is no other way to eradicate them, Bhagavan asked Pandavas to do or to accept all ways and means which are possible for them, even though they are not dharmic in the real sense. Because to fight with the adharmic people, they are doing all adharmic things. Money is there, wealth is there, power is there, the power of government is there, and they are doing all atrocities. Even the chastity of a woman was teared in a public place, not even a public place, in the middle of the Rajya Sabha. It happened. Removing the dress and making a young woman nude. And all the scholars were sitting without any protest. Just to see that. What right these people have to speak about dharma? So if they have to be eradicated, Bhagavan asked Pandavas to adopt various methods which are palpably adharmic. But as those people who were killed were parts of the same adharmic way, Bhagavan may be thinking it is right for them. Because Duryodhana asked a question, what are you doing? What adharma you are doing? Then the reply given was, what right you have to speak about dharma? Karna asked the same thing. Reply was the same question. What right you have? So when we are in the government, we can do anything and everything. Or when we are in the opposition, we can do anything and everything. That is not right. So you have to face, or you have to get back what you have done or what you are doing. So this was the way Bhagavan accepted in his Krishna Avatara. Of course, when we are analyzing from the standpoint of dharma alone, Many activities were adharmic. There is no doubt in that. Many. Even after the Mahabharata Yuddha, as a part of Yudhishthira's Rajasuya and all, many things were done to eradicate mighty forces of adharma. Yes. So that was the way Sri Krishna adopted. So when power, money, especially the power of the government, they are creating an umbrella, and within that all scholars are coming, or leaders are coming, or peoples of influence are coming and uniting together to eradicate them, to eradicate the activities of dharma. We can go up to whatever extent. Yeah. That is the message given by Bhagavan Sri Krishna in this Leela, which we are seeing in the Mahabharata. This is the only possible reply. Namaste. I think we can conclude now and continue in our next session. Namaste. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Oh.